This podcast contains content warnings such as off-screen child death, minor descriptions of gore, death, drinking, and violence. Your discretion is advised.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh, Matt just intentionally knocked the tower down.
Massive moment.
A heroic sacrifice has been done. Stanley Jenkins will die in this scene. I'm going to have you narrate it in a second, Matt. Manny and Max, Dr. Jesper Miller, and Polly are getting out of this. You guys don't have to pull for this. That counts. You get away with some stuff. The things you want, we can describe those later. But okay, Matt, cool. First, before we get into that, I need you to describe what your heroic sacrifice looks like.
It is 3 parts. First one is stomping basically the trunk button so you guys have easy access straight out the back.
Yep.
Second part is yelling, go, go, go. The third part is the action. I've got a snub-nosed, 5-shot police revolver that I start shooting every so often through the windshield because what else am I going to do at this point?
Yeah.
As soon as I see y'all are clear, I reach below my seat and yank the line out of the NOS.
Oh no!
The NOS line? What?
I'll allow it.
Then I reach back and grab one of the flare guns.
Yeah.
I was going to do this exact same thing,
and
so
I shoot it down.
Okay. So you shoot the flare gun down into the monster?
No.
You
into
shoot
the gas.
into the NOS. You're blowing up the truck. Okay.
With you in it.
I understand. I thought you were throwing the NOS down into the monster and shooting it. Okay. So there's a huge explosion. The pair of you you hear go, go, go. You scramble out. You're grabbing a couple things on the way. Probably a handful each, whatever that looks like. And land on the vine-covered ground and start scrambling for the nearest cover. It's I'm going to say the laundromat. Because you are on Main Street. You kick open the door. You end up in an incredibly dusty, grimy, old laundromat that smells like cobwebs and linen. And you look behind you expecting to see Stanley Jenkins, and then the truck explodes. The mouth of the monster is blown open. It looks like a prank cigar, if y'all are familiar with what that looks like. Just sort of flared open. It stumbles around. It bellows in a way that rattles the glass in every building that still has glass in it. Then it does basically a barrel roll and sprints away.
Away from us.
Away from you. Leaving a smoking, half-eaten wreckage, as well as huge pieces of shredded monster parts. And I'm going to have us pause here while we rebuild the tower and see where things are. All right. Sounds good.
So,
yes, the monster has left. The truck is destroyed.
I have a thing I want the listeners to be able to hear in the moment.
Yes.
Because, yes, I specifically chose to push down the tower. This was not because I wanted out of the game. This was for 3 reasons. One, as Manny referenced earlier, we were assholes. We took the 2 framing pieces out of the bottom row of the tower because I forgot we were playing cooperative Jenga and not competitive Jenga.
and I just wanted to show off, honestly.
The second reason is I misheard Tim as he was describing the monster. So I was picturing something taller that I could take the legs out on with the truck.
So was I.
So
I apologize for that. I should have described the thing.
I'm blaming myself on this one because I also miscounted how high 10 feet is.
Yeah, this thing is not 10 feet total. It's 10 feet high and probably like 60 feet long.
Yeah, and I took that to mean it was 10 feet in the air.
Okay.
So that was my mistake. You specifically said 10 feet at the shoulder, and I for some reason thought that meant, oh, so its belly is 10 feet up, and I can just take out the legs and go under it. Like, we'll cartoon this shit if I pull enough bricks.
Amazing.
So that was my initial thought. The final reason I knocked the tower down is I am not good at Jenga. I am too jittery, and I don't want to ruin the game for the others. So this was the proper moment for Stanley to go out.
Okay.
Got it.
So, kicked open the door to the laundromat, and you guys look back as this monster rolls away and retreats. Yeah, it sort of like rolls over onto another set of legs and speeds off into the distance. You guys are left alone in the laundromat. What do you want to do?
What things did you bring with you?
I grabbed the machete and I had the flare gun in my back pocket in like my shorts, so I probably would have been only been able to grab the machete because I had the shotgun in one hand.
Right.
So you have the machete, a shotgun, and the flare gun?
Flare.
I'll allow that.
Yeah, I assume I
That
only
makes sense
have
to me.
one flare in the flare gun. Again, I've never shot a flare gun, so I don't know if they can accommodate more than one flare.
There are flare guns that accommodate more than one. This is definitely not one of them.
I didn't think it would be.
I
This
don't-
is one of the plastic survivalist guns. The gun
Yeah.
itself is the cartridge.
Okay,
That was the vision I had as I was
got it.
painting the interior of my truck.
They have like Navy ones that have just like a absolute 6-shooter looking barrel of them, but
It's
that
like
ain't-
Hellboy's
that-
pistol.
Yeah, that ain't this.
Yeah. I, upon seeing this start to happen, threw the attaché case out the passenger window
Okay.
and then scooped it as I ran. So I have the attaché case, which has in it the original pond samples,
And then
the
one from the
additional
tap.
sample from the tap water in the bathtub, and, lingering scraps and remnants of the algae
Okay.
and plant matter that was in the tub.
Right.
So you have the
Oh, I also have a box of leather vinyl gloves.
Okay.
And other MISC scientific equipment in there.
Cool.
Yeah. Tests and more vials and this and that and the other thing.
All right. So dust floating in the air, sunbeams from the overall fairly overcast day lighting up in the dust. What do you do? Where are you going?
How far away is the pond from here? Can we get there on foot?
Yeah, we can get there on foot as long as there's not more of those things.
Do you have a car around here?
It's back at the motel.
The motel's only a couple blocks away at this point. If you want to head back and grab the car.
Yeah, it's a rental.
Listen, Polly. There's something else I gotta tell you. A laundromat doesn't feel like the right place to do it, but ANPC is a monster here. I know it. Everyone knows it. I've been trying to blow the whistle in New York for months. And they've got a hold on me. They know I'm the only person there for my son. And they've been trying to shut me up. And I think they sent me here to collect these samples as part of a hush job. I think... Look around. I think we both know who is responsible for this.
You ain't just whistling Dixie. Is your son in town?
No, he's back home in the city.
Well, that's good.
I can't reach him. I tried to call him. I think this is just here.
Have we seen any other people as we've been driving through town
No.
or anything? I am concerned that the three of us are the only people we've seen.
Yeah,
So what was different about us?
right. I mean, this is a one-stoplight kind of town, but there ought to be at least a few people at the corner store or
at the bars
at
for
the
sure.
bar or at church or something.
Yeah. Should we look at the bar first?
Yeah, and maybe more weapons there. You're more proficient
Definitely
than
another
I am.
shotgun there.
Yeah.
All right, let's check out one of the bars.
Okay. And I want to look around the laundromat and see, is there anything I could grab here that would be like a shield? Like maybe taking the door off of a washing machine or something. I am a city boy, so I don't know anything about weapons or anything. I'm just going to grab stuff to try and protect myself.
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of super easy ways of making weapons out of a old laundromat. The laundry machines are like rusty and old. The countertops were like a layer of laminate over plywood that is like peeling back and dusty and grimy. You might be able to take a 2x4 if you kick a table apart, or
You know what I bet they have in here is a hat rack. A coat rack, hat rack kind of
I'll
situation.
allow that. Yeah,
I bet I could take that and like sling it over my shoulder.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
Imagine it might give
just
me
a steel tube with some spikes on the end, basically.
yeah,
Sure.
to give me a little leverage if I am trying to run away from
Can I grab a roll of quarters?
Oh, that's a good idea.
There is a coin operated like laundry detergent machine,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a completely dust covered like change machine. If you want to take the time to break it apart to get into it, or find a way to get power back on the building so you could then operate it and put in a $5, you might get a handful of loose quarters.
Okay.
I don't think there's going to be just stacks of a $25 worth of quarters.
Nah, it's not worth it. I just thought it'd be really cool to put a roll of quarters into the shotgun.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Watch Demolition Ranch. You can see
Yeah,
what
exactly.
happens.
Yeah. Let's check out this bar. I could use a drink. Mama always said, if you see a man burned alive in his car, you need a shot of whiskey. Let's go.
Do you want to go to my brain's getting tired. I'm just going to default. Do you want to go to DJ's or Friends?
Whichever one's closer.
You're closer to DJ's.
Yeah, just DJs then.
Okay.
Yeah.
DJ's, the less expensive bar in town.
Mm-hmm.
I like to have the shotgun.
Yeah. You the building covered with kudzu vines like every other building. You find the door by kind of pulling some of them away to the point where you find where the door is. You rip the door open. I'm going to have you pull a brick to get this door open properly, though. Whichever one of you wants to.
Polly is going to try to muscle the door open.
Mandy is pulling a brick from the middle. It comes out easily
Nice.
and is stacked on top.
Great.
This tower is a lot less precarious than the one that I stacked.
That's okay. It won't last.
For now. For now.
You
Reason
rip
3.B.
You open the door. Inside is a mostly empty bar. A small bar going halfway across the room, a series of benches. The bar is probably like 15 feet from end to end, and then another like 5 feet behind the bar, so probably a 20-foot long room. It's fairly deep. It's like as long as the rest of the building is a long room. And there's like a few tables set up. You see one figure in the back of the bar, behind the bar, slowly walking into the back room. It's dark in here. The only lights are the ever-present neons, Bud Light signs, and Miller High Life logos on the walls.
A figure. Did it look like a plant person or did it look like a human person?
It's sort of hard to tell, sort of silhouetted as it is.
Cool.
It's either a plant person or it's a person with a mullet. based on the kind of stuff you saw coming off the back.
Great.
But based on how shaken you are, your brain's assuming a plant person.
All right, let's tread carefully. But first, and I take a bottle of whiskey and I pour 2 shots for both of us. And I cheers, throw it back. And then do I still have like my backpack or the duffel bag? Can we say that I grab that or
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no.
okay? Okay. All right.
Something I was thinking about doing would be, there are undoubtedly bottles of liquor here and probably rags.
That's where I was going. I just don't have a way to carry them.
I'm
was
looking
the
for
thing.
matchbooks,
Uh-huh.
and I think I want to start assembling
Molotovs.
Molotovs.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. I also think you should pull a brick for it.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
That's why I
I don't
asked.
have a case other than the attaché case, and I don't think handles are going to fit
No, definitely
very
not.
well in there. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we each take one, put it in a pocket or something?
I do have cargo shorts.
Or find a plastic bag or something
Yeah.
that's like loose in the bar that we could take.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole tower just
It was nearly a
wobbled.
disaster.
Yeah. Not that one.
I feel like if we ever do a Jenga-based game again, we need to get lavaliers.
folks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's probably a great idea.
All right. We have a narrow success.
Excellent. So you go behind the bar. You take a series of bottles of the highest proofs you can grab. I'm gonna say, yeah, you find a couple.
They have Everclear, right?
They got a little Everclear.
All
Small
right.
time Midwestern bar? Absolutely.
Yeah. This is what would I say? Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, 151 at the minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you grab the Everclear, you got the 151. There's some
Smirnoff birthday cake.
and you find some bar rags, and you find a series of thank you plastic bags.
Great.
So you're able
And
to
matches.
and matches. You find a small book of matches. There's a little rack of like 4 or 5 of them.
Great.
Clearly, they don't go through a lot of these. They don't have them stacked up. Most folks carry lighters these days, but it's a bar. They're gonna have some matches.
Great.
Yeah. I think we make up a couple cocktails, throw them in a bag, and then I would like to
You hear footsteps behind you.
hang the bag on your coat rack, and I will now cock the shotgun. Okay.
Nice.
Pop out that shell.
shell comes out.
Great.
And I was like, should we?
Yeah.
The
All right.
figure steps out from behind the door, the back room that it was in. It is absolutely a plant creature. It hasn't yet seen you. It seems to be facing forward and is sort of shambling forward. What do you do?
Did it like open the door or just like push the door open?
The door was. This is just an open
It just-
doorway.
it was
Yeah,
just
this
open,
is
so
this
it
is
just-
the
okay.
like empty doorway that goes in and out of the back of the kitchen.
Okay,
kind of
so
thing.
yeah. Okay. Is it heading into the bar?
So the I've moved you guys in my head behind the bar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
to
we'd
make-
have to be to get
yeah.
all the bottles.
Yeah.
So you guys are back there. The plant creature is walking from behind the bar, crossing the T of the bar to go into the main room of the bar.
Okay.
So if you guys just like let it do that, it will be in the bar, like customer area, and you'll still be behind the bar.
Okay. I want to see something.
Okay.
Slide your attaché case over here. And I take it, and I want to take one of the vials out that I know has like the algae and stuff in it that like grew overnight.
Yeah.
And I want to say, I'll look at you and I say, stay below the bar, and I want to chuck it at the plant creature with the intent to like break on the plant creature to see if there's any sort of reaction between it and like the algae.
Okay.
Great.
You throw the test tube
Oh, and then I'll duck down behind the bar.
I have my phone out. I'm filming this.
Okay.
Just above. Your hand up over the bar.
Yeah.
You throw the... I should have you pull a brick for this.
I was like,
I was
really?
gonna
You're not going to
say-
make me pull a brick? You're so
Oh my
nice,
God.
Tim.
I've got an idea of what happens in my head if you succeed, which is my constant run, because I don't plan for you to die. If that makes sense to me. That was the easiest pull we've had all night.
Yeah, it was. Perfect aim.
Well, thank you.
I just bumped the table like a bastard. Okay.
Oh my god.
I guess my character.
Maybe
dies?
you do want to murder us.
No, my character would die. So I guess the
game is
the plants die and we just go back to
All
our
the
normal life.
hologram
Yeah.
exterior walls fall away,
yeah.
and it's the Truman Show. And
Okay, so you grab the small vial. A cell phone is recording, and you throw it at the plant monster that's currently facing away from you, and then immediately duck. You hear it go clink, tink, 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 tink. It didn't shatter on the plant monster.
Son of a bitch.
The plant monster whirls around and screams, and then stops and doesn't start again.
Do we hear any movement, like coming towards us?
Yes.
Or coming? Okay. Does it sound like the big 4 thump, thump, thumps?
You hear a slow plodding
Okay.
closer. Clearly the plant monster moving the bar. And as you strain your ears, you can hear a 4x4 thump, 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 thump.
All right. We should make ourselves scarce.
do you want to try and double your luck with that aim? And I hand you a cocktail.
Hell yeah! And I'll strike up a cocktail. I actually want to come up. So I've never thrown a Molotov cocktail, so I don't know how much time I have. But
For legal reasons, I haven't either.
nice. I will come around the bar because, like, I'm remembering that the one that I saw before didn't move, attack.
Yeah.
So I want to get like as close as I did before, about 10 feet. Mm-hmm. Does it make any movement towards me?
You're basically standing up and walking over kind of towards it.
Yeah.
It stands where it is and screams at you.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't move. It doesn't move to attack you. It just keeps screaming.
Wait. Hold your fire.
Right. And I think I would have handed you the shotgun and be like, watch my back.
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea, but you know.
Send towards bad guy.
Yeah. I think Polly takes the hand that is not holding the Molotov cocktail, and I'm going to try to pull the kudzu from what I assume to be the face.
Okay, you're getting close enough to touch it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to need you to pull a brick.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Manny's fingers briefly slipped from the grasp of that brick as it was midway out of the tower.
It's
All right.
now got kind of a jaunty slant.
It does have a little jaunty slant.
That's great. I love a jaunty slant on a Jenga tower. So you reach up to try to pull vines off its face.
Mm-hmm.
You grab a handful of vines and sort of like kind of wiggle them around to try to see if any of them will give. Yeah, they do. Some of them sort of come off in your hand. And then you find that as you drop them to try to grab more, they're still holding on to you.
The vines are the ones that I pull are holding on to me?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
And I see this.
Fuck.
Uh-huh.
Get back from there.
Can I... How strong are they holding me? Like, can I, like, pull my hand out?
I'm going to need you to pull a brick.
Oh my
Okay.
god. So,
Jesus.
wait, is Polly's hand, like, on the face, or has Polly been able to pull away?
Yeah, you're like maybe a hand's breadth away. Like you're going for like a grab and pull and a grab and pull, and on the grab and then pull.
The vines came.
The vines
me.
are coming with you in a way that you realize is not just them They're like kind of wrapping around your fingers a little bit.
But not just sticky.
Can I feel them moving on my hand?
Just ever so slowly.
Barely. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a Ryan Reynolds space movie with an amoeba alien that I'm thinking of right now, and that scene is exactly what's happening and terrifies me.
Oh man, nice.
All right, the brick is pulled. It's being placed on the tower. All right, you pull away, realizing that it's grabbing you. You use your body weight to step back and rip your hand away. A bunch of these vines snap off and are connecting to. Some of them are still attached to the creature. Some of them are on your hand. I'll go ahead and do this for you. You rip them off quickly. You put the Molotov cocktail down for a second. Rip them off your hand. They haven't bored into you or anything.
Okay.
They're coming off of your hand.
Okay.
But you could tell that if you stayed there too long, this thing might have really got you.
Okay. Did I see anything like a face when I pulled it away?
No.
It would was there just more vines underneath? I couldn't clear enough away to see what was underneath, or is it
as you reached in, you felt something solid under there?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't remove enough vines to see a human face under there.
Okay. Well, we need to go.
Yeah, agreed.
There's more 4x4 thumping noises. These are loud enough that it's probably just outside.
Let's go. Out the back.
Out the back. The back room it was coming from, was it coming... do we get the sense that that door led underground or led out a back door?
It led back into the kitchen, but you can see daylight through the green tint of vines. So you think that that there's probably a back door. I'll also go ahead and tell you there is a back door. As you head through there and you find the back door, you force it open, and you see a long green, brownish tail, sort of snaking across the kudzu vines on the ground. This creature is going to the front of the building.
Okay.
Towards where the sounds that we made were.
Yeah.
Let's book it. We're only a few blocks away from the hotel. Back to your car.
Yep. Do we need to do any sort of shenanigans to can we get around or over the tail without alerting this thing?
That's what I was thinking.
Or are we going to have to
if you guys just hesitate at the door a little longer, it'll keep going and you can go around it.
Yes.
This fella is not encompassing the building.
Got it. Yeah, I think Polly does the soccer mom thing and throws out an arm to stop you.
Right.
I do want to say that I did pick up the Molotov and the shotgun.
Yeah. So you have shotgun, machete, Molotov cocktails.
I think I probably gave you the machete because I have my knife.
Okay, you have a knife, shotgun, Molotovs. I have shotgun, coat rack, Molotovs, and attaché case thumping around with samples. How I'm holding all of this is starting
No, I think you're hanging stuff on the coat rack.
Oh, yeah, and then hanging it like a bindle over my shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
I just figured that Dr. J was wearing black jodhpurs with gold buttons on them. Guybrush Threepwood.
Oh no. So we book it.
So you're going to head around the back, down a couple blocks, and then over a couple blocks to get to the motel.
Yeah.
How stealthy are you being?
I mean, very, right? I think
I don't think Polly would, because she's noticing that these things don't move very fast. So I think she's trying to get there as quick as possible, and she's more concerned about where the people are. I'm assuming there are these things, but still yet we've only seen 2 of these plant people in the entire town. And
pull a brick?
Huh?
The plant people. Yeah, it's interesting. I think I'd go the other way. The plant people are not moving very fast, but the Thing style monster that attacked the truck seemed to move aggressively fast, and I don't want to run into one of those. But I think if you're going fast, I would try and keep up with you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to get left alone here.
Okay,
She was a
Manny,
track star in high school,
Manny
so she's
has
just like
pull the
looking.
brick. You start doing a quick jog, keeping your feet high because the ground is not great for running on. It's covered in vines. And the pair of you make it a couple blocks down, and you are to the hotel. A car covered in vines is in sight.
Mm-hmm.
You recognize the shape of your car, which is a...
Toyota Camry.
Hell yeah. You
Right.
recognize the most boring shaped car possible. Start stripping off vines. And I think that I'm not going to have you pull a brick to that. I think you've uncovered the car and you have a engine to start.
Great.
What do you do?
Is there anything on the radio? Or is it that same static?
The radio is different than a TV. Those are different mechanics. So,
Well, I think in Stanley's car. Oh no,
Well,
maybe
we
I
didn't
was.
try
We
it.
didn't try the radio.
We didn't try the radio in the car.
Yeah.
you try the radio. There is an emergency message on a bunch of the AM channels and on a couple of the FM channels.
That is the scariest sound.
Yeah.
Like radio,
Uh-huh.
like public TV emergency broadcast shit.
The
oh
like
my god.
beady.
Oh my god. You're scaring me, Tim.
Okay, so but like
and
we're
it-
not getting an actual message. It's just
There is a
that
message.
Okay,
It's
cool.
telling people in this area to go south to the next town over. There is emergency services there.
Should we?
Where's the pond in relationship to the town south of here? Is it on the way?
Out of game.
Yes.
I assume it's like.
Yes.
Oh, it's on the way south.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the pond is like there's a river running north south.
Mm-hmm.
The pond is south of the town by a little bit,
Okay.
and then the next town is further south than that.
Okay. Yeah, it's on the way.
I'm of two minds on this, Polly. On the one hand, I feel like if we go to the pond where the samples are from, it's possible we could find some evidence of what created this. But we have a handful of weapons between us, certainly nothing that could take down many of these monsters, let alone one big one. And I have limited scientific equipment with me. It's not like I could take, dredge floor samples from the bottom of the pond or anything like that with what I've got on me. But
Right.
if we survive this thing and we get out of here on time or, alive, we could get to the next town and we could tell everybody what AMPC did.
Here's what I'm concerned about. If okay, I'm not a scientist, but the pond is south of us and the next town is south as well, then this happened in a matter of hours here,
Yeah.
working against the flow of the river. So
Yeah.
if it gets into the water supply, what does that mean for the next town? And then the next town and then the next town. So do we warn the people or do we try to take out the source? And are either too late? Should we just run?
Maybe we do both. Head south as fast as possible, go by the pond, see what we see. If it looks like something we can do something about, we can do that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, head out and try to contact emergency services and
Yeah.
the
Okay.
president. And
Let's book it.
So I'm gonna have you each pull a brick to get to the pond.
Okay. You want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay.
I feel like I pulled a lot, but I don't know if that's
I've
helping you.
I've been making you pull a lot.
Yeah,
You're
I just
doing
don't
a lot
know
of
if that's.
risky actions
Yeah.
in a row, which accounts to pulling more often than not.
Yeah, I just don't know if that helps Max out or not because there's a lot of holes in this here tower. Ooh.
Oh, the tower rotated slightly. Max is looking for a good angle. Max has found a weak
yeah.
brick. We're in luck.
She rocking.
Okay, the tower is free. Okay. Max has pulled the brick. Manny, it's time for yours.
Oh, right. After
While you're doing this,
Yes.
I do think that Dr. Jasper Miller would know roughly the water table
Uh-huh.
and like the flow of water in the area. And I think probably like while we're going there, I think he's validating like, yeah, the town to the south is on the same water table as we are.
Uh-huh. Okay.
2 successes.
Yeah.
You arrive at the pond.
Y'all, I have to point out, this thing is standing on what looks to
1.
my angle 3 points where it's 1 brick on each layer, and it's about to be 4 if I'm seeing this right for the next pull.
Yep. It's not great, Matt.
It's not great. We're not in a good set here.
Yeah, but I'm already dead.
So you are arriving.
On our way, I pour out one for Stanley.
440 for Stanley out the window.
Yeah, you start the engine. You hear some thumping noises, and you floor it. The pair of you drive out of town, driving over the vines. Corners are surprisingly slick, as the vines are not great traction. The ride is bumpy, and eventually you make it to the pond. The pond is like everything else in this area. Every tree, every telephone pole, completely covered in kudzu vines. The pond, however, is not. It is still green, though. This entire pond is a thick layer of sludge. The same pond slime that you found in the bathtub is covering the entire pond.
Do we see any plant people?
You do not. You saw a couple on the drive over. They sort of turned and screamed as you were in town. But the 10 minutes it takes to drive out of town, you then didn't see anyone outside of the town.
And we haven't seen any of the freaky multi-leg
No.
monster versions either.
You haven't seen it since the bar.
Okay.
Okay. Is there kudzu? So how far? You said the pond is covered in algae, but there is no kudzu there. How close is the nearest kudzu?
The edge of the water.
Okay.
Like it looks like it basically like surrounded the pond, and then the pond algae. Like it is like the whole thing. You only know that the pond is there because you knew where it was.
Okay.
And because the texture of the vines is different. They're both the same color green.
Right.
There's that vibrant spring plant green.
Yeah.
Yeah, if y'all haven't looked at pictures of kudzu plants attacking villages or whatever, look it up.
It's scary.
It's so cool.
Mm-hmm. God, I might regret this, but I want to... Yeah, I think Polly would do it. She's going to, like, touch the algae and, like...
With gloves on or your bare hands?
Oh, I forgot we had gloves. Yeah, I'm going to, like, put some gloves on and, like, try to pull some of the algae out of the water to see, I guess, if it's just sitting on the surface or if it, like, goes deeper or something like that. Because we know they're connected in some way, but, like, I don't think they're physically connected because they're it's like water versus not water.
So there's a very thick layer of this algae pond slime, probably like an inch thick maybe, but under it is water.
Okay.
And it appears to be just normal pond water. It's not like thick all the way down. This appears to be normal water.
So it hasn't gotten into the water yet. Just kind of sitting on top. Can I strike a match and see if what I have in my hand burns?
I was thinking about
Like
that.
the algae.
It doesn't really burn.
Yeah.
It doesn't light up like a
It's
torch
not like
or
a
something.
Lake Erie situation.
Nope, it doesn't light on fire.
If I pour alcohol on it and then light it, does that do anything?
It burns off the alcohol. The plant gets singed a bit. As far as you can tell, based on everything that you've done, like experimenting with lighting matches at pond slime, that this behaves like normal pond slime.
Yeah, it's just wet sludge. It's not
Yeah.
Well, now I'm wondering if there's something in the pond.
It certainly seemed like the samples we took from the pond at least had the same stuff, or was made out of the same stuff, or created whatever the stuff is in the town.
Are one of y'all going to jump into the pond?
I was going to
Absolutely
see
not.
if there was like a rowboat.
Yeah, there's a rowboat.
You want to go sailing?
A vine-covered rowboat.
Oh, this place has been condemned for a few years at least, you guys said, right?
Well, the house
wood's
has,
probably all rotted.
well, one way to find out, and I start
Oh
pulling
my
vines
God,
off
okay.
the boat.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, it seems to be in decent shape. As much as a rowboat that's sitting in the sun can. Like, it's not rotted, but it's pretty rough.
Take another nip of whiskey from my Molotov cocktail. And I
I'm
push
coming
the boat
with. I'm
in
not going to
there.
get left
Yeah.
alone here.
All right, the pair of you
Yeah.
hop into a boat and row out into the middle of this, like, pond. It's not very big, but what do you do once you're out there?
I didn't think this far ahead.
I would love one of y'all to jump in.
To be honest, I think it's the best idea that we've got.
slaps so much.
No, wait a minute.
Oh,
I
better idea.
take my long coat rack, which we established was a long stick
Uh-huh.
tube, and I take all the bullshit that I have hanging off of it and set it down in the boat.
Mhm.
And I say, okay, grab on. And I kind of reach my hand out to balance myself, and I lean out from the rowboat, and I'm pushing the coat rack down into the water. And my thinking is, if this is going to have some effect on physical objects, that it will start acting on the coat rack. Or if there actually is something under there, like a device or something like that, it will be able to find it.
Okay.
Now, the pond might be too deep. We'll just have to see.
I would like you to pull a brick.
All right, I'm going in. This is going to be rough, y'all.
The highest legal row, and Max is pulling out the middle one.
All right,
Oh
we're on top.
boy. That is
That's a holy tower.
5 completed rows above the starting point, and 2 of those were from resetting the tension of the tower.
Yes.
So
anytime
there's
a character dies, you replace the tower with the number of players times 3 removed bricks before you start. And you basically play Jenga for 6 rounds until... But that's what we did. Okay, so you take your coat rack, you stabilize and push under the water, and then start sweeping.
Yeah, I'm
Around?
just swizzling the coat rack around in there, trying to basically dredge as much
Yeah.
of the floor of the pond as possible to see what it does.
Would this be a bad time to tell you about Chappie the pond monster? Just a bit of local legend, but, it's been rattling around in my noodle ever since we woke up. This probably a bad time to mention
That
it.
would have been
You-
good to mention earlier, Polly. Thank you.
When Polly says, this might be a bad time to mention it, while you had previously been sweeping the lake a little bit, that's when you feel something clunk the coat rack. Through most of this pond, you've found basically nothing. It's not very deep, probably 6 to 10 feet at any given point, and the surface, the floor is very muddy. Occasionally, you bump what feels like a rotted log, but you can kind of tell the difference between a piece of wood
Yeah.
and the thing that you just hit, which is clearly metal
Okay.
or perhaps glass.
I'm going to, move my coat rack around a little bit around the perimeter of it to try to get a bead on how big it is.
Yeah.
Are we talking a small box, or are we talking like a coffin? Like what?
Small box is probably closer in shape. It's kind of hard to tell coat rack dimensions. It's either 1 foot by 1 foot to maybe 4 foot by 4 foot based
Yeah.
on how much angle you've got on your
Yeah.
coat rack.
Mm.
But a couple points on it with the coat rack, you feel that you occasionally get a little stuck on it. You think that with the right leverage, you might be able to angle this thing out of the water.
Yeah, can I think I'll help. And can we situate it into the ore well and use that as
that's
a
a good
lever?
idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Using one of the ores to fulcrum.
One of you is going to do the bulk of this work, and I need you to pull it.
Who would that be? I think I know best where it is.
Yeah.
I have the coat rack.
Yeah,
angled, so probably me.
Yeah, sure. And I can stabilize and
Yeah.
from
I don't
the
think
other
I don't think either one of us is stronger than the other.
No, not really.
God, why does it have to be me again?
I mean, you basically volunteered.
I know, this is my idea.
We're good.
The brick fell because there was
There wasn't a brick on the other side.
there wasn't a brick on the other side to hold it up, so it tilted
it slipped
down.
and fell. But I got it, and it's on the top.
Yeah.
Okay. So you managed to... So the coat rack has a series of upwards pointing hooks, as well as a series of curved hooks for coats versus hats kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you managed to hook one of those more curved ones onto this object somehow. And you pull on it, and for a second it slips, and you're like, ooh, I lost it. And then as you lift it up, it goes, no, we still have it. It was just eventually, after straining and pulling and levering and the boat's rocking and there's pond scum making weird waves, eventually this object breaks the surface. It's completely covered in scum. You pulled it through an area that you had not yet disturbed because of angles. And it's a box in shape. It's probably... I'm holding my hands up. It's probably a foot and a half long by maybe 7 inches tall by 7 inches wide. And it's got poles across 4 pieces of it and handles on either side. And you bring it into the boat, wiping muck off of it with your gloved hands. This object has a pair of half spheres that have been pulled away from each other by about 4 inches in the center. And you see the logo that reads ANPC.
So it's a I'm visualizing, let me see if this is right, a cube that has no walls. It's just the shape of a cube with what ought to be a sphere in it, but the sphere is open.
The sphere has a pole on either side that have clearly retracted to pull the sphere apart.
Okay.
The sphere is hollow on the inside, and the outside of the structure has bars across it to give it its shape.
Got it. They left something here. Left something they weren't supposed to leave. I think we should take this and get to the authorities as soon as possible.
I think you're right. DM question or game runner question. Tim, I have a question for you. The monster, did it look like it was made of the same sort of plant matter that the plant people were made of, or is it more animalian, if that makes sense?
It looks to be similar plant matter.
Okay. And how big is the sphere?
Probably a
size of a grapefruit?
Yeah, about the size of a grapefruit.
Okay. I have a theory, but I don't really want to test it.
What's your theory?
I think that the big son of a bitch used to be a much smaller son of a bitch.
You think whatever they left here
got
broke
out
somehow, got out, and made things bigger, stronger, more.
Yes.
Harder, better, faster, star. Cut that part out.
No.
Yes.
I might. So you have a weird piece of evidence, a bucket full of Molotov cocktails, and a town to get to. Are you all leaving?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
On our way back, can I put some kudzu in there and try to close the sphere around it?
It appears to be a electrically
So it
powered device that probably has already been activated. It's not. You can feel that there's some give if you try to like push them together.
Okay,
but it's definitely not easy. The solenoid that made this thing open has already been fired.
Okay. Yeah, let's book it.
Yeah. While we're on that way back, knowing that this is an ANPC device, do I recognize, maybe in the car as we're leaving, able to look at it more, do I have an understanding of maybe what it was supposed to be or who made it? Does it have like a label, like a testing device or something?
You recognize the logo. You recognize some like basic information that you would put on a device of like some like, power button indicators and like various lights that would indicate what stage of this process it's in. As far as like a signature name sort of like identifier of exactly what this object is, you would probably have to study it a bit longer to figure out exactly what. You think that you know enough that you might be able to solve it, but not in a car.
Yeah.
Skidding over kudzu vines.
Does it look like it was damaged at all, or does it look like it
pristine?
Okay.
Other than grimy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as you're driving, heading south, sliding on the vines, trying to keep the car on the road, you hear 4x4 rhythmic thunks. And you check the rearview mirror, and covering the entire 2-lane road is this creature. It's following you.
Oh.
It's been following us from town?
It's been following you from town.
Oh my god.
It was, as you got on, once you noticed it wasn't going super fast. When you started to accelerate, it started to accelerate. This thing is matching pace and slowly catching up.
I'm immediately throwing a lit Molotov cocktail out the window.
I love it. I need you.
Yes. Okay, here we
brick.
go. This is much like my real life aim would be. Also, the Jenga tower has like a red fuzz on it that's making metal.
Can you pull that off?
No.
It's like stuck in there.
Oh no.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
From the angle I'm at, I cannot see it. This is a very risky tower.
Here.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That is now 4 points where the tower is at 1 brick per
It
level.
is totally. This is Swiss cheese.
The worst part, y'all, they're alternated.
Yeah.
No, I know, right?
So it goes one way, then the 90 degrees, the 90 degrees, the 90 degrees for each time it's 1 brick.
Yeah, it's great.
This is a rough tower.
It's pretty bad, but
the brick was pulled.
it was a success.
Okay, so you throw a Molotov cocktail out the window. You take a book of matches, light one match, it blows out immediately. You light a second match, it blows out immediately. You light the third match, it stays. You light the Molotov cocktail. You grab hold of the JC bar, lean out the window. Y'all know the Jesus Christ bar?
Yeah. Oh shit bar.
Oh
Yep.
shit, yeah.
Yeah.
And you grab hold of that, lean out the window, and throw that Molotov cocktail behind you. It hits the road just in front of the monster. Flames licking its body. This thing's a little bit on fire now.
Okay.
It's keeping up its pace. It's gotten close enough that you can see which of the I don't know what to call them, the lips of the 5-lipped mouth. You can see which ones have been blown off already. This is the same one. It's not, the fire slowly catches more and more of it. I need one of you to pull a brick. I'm gonna say actually 2 bricks, and you make your getaway.
Maybe one of us to pull for driving and the other one to pull for another cocktail or shooting it with the shotgun.
Yep.
I wish we had that pistol, but it's still in the car.
Mm-hmm.
That
A flare gun.
The truck.
I think the pistol.
Yeah.
is out of bullets too.
Yeah, I think you emptied it into the thing.
I emptied it and then did the thing.
So you are pulling your brick now, I think maybe to represent driving and getting
That's
us
the
out
best
of
part
this.
is it's 2 bricks. It's not 1 brick each. It's just 2 bricks.
Yeah.
I thought we could both pull.
You could each take a turn if you want, but if one of you wants to pull 2,
Your call.
Well, let me see how this goes first.
Five spots where it's at 1 brick.
all right.
I'm putting right in the
Manny
middle.
has removed another brick. We need one more pull, and I'll allow your getaway. The driving is going well. You are maintaining course. You're accelerating.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
I keep thinking of that one, but it's so tense in there. Oh my god.
Manny is lightly
Like
feathering
stroking
a brick.
the brick out of its spot.
I've never seen a Jenga tower get fondled before.
You haven't?
Not like that.
Oh,
Wow.
holy shit. Good work.
Incredible.
Excellent. So, what would you like each of those bricks to represent? Driving was one of them, obviously. What was the other one for?
Yeah.
Because I think you guys... So, like I said, you guys make your getaway. What do you do to get far enough away that this thing stops chasing you? Because I think that's what happens. I don't think you're able to necessarily kill it, but you might be able to distract it. You might be able to lose it, shake it.
Oh, God. There's something I want to do, but if it doesn't work, it will be a supreme waste of the 2 blocks I just pulled.
Well, you just did it, though. Like, you succeeded.
Yeah, so... I have a wild theory.
Lay it on us.
And I will gun it, and I'll turn to you and I say, Jasper, take the wheel.
Okay. And I reach over.
And as you reach over to take the wheel, I grab the box that we just pulled out of the lake, and I say, up here at the intersection, you turn right. And as you whip the wheel right, I'm going to throw open the driver's side door and tuck and roll with the box and run left to see which one of us it chases.
Oh my god, I'm here for it. So it might be an escape only for one of us.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And you have the evidence.
Yeah. That's why I was like, if it doesn't work...
You have one piece of evidence. You have the other.
All the samples and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
oh my god, yeah, we both have crucial evidence and we're running in different directions.
I love that Tim gave you the win and you threw it away.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, I have to go with what I've written down.
Mm-hmm.
It chases the car.
Okay. But I think that I assume you still get away.
Our getaway still applies.
Yeah.
Right? So...
I'll narrate.
Yeah.
So you tuck and roll with some evidence, and I'll say that the car the road curves a little bit. This is the intersection that goes south. You were coming down a previously south going road that is now briefly going east.
Mm-hmm.
There's another road that now goes north again.
I just assumed it whoa.
Yeah. This is a kind of a weedy road, but you have the car turn up a north road. You start running south.
Mm-hmm.
The car is going north. And you start running down the road. You look behind you, expecting this plant-covered, multi-legged monstrosity to chase you.
Mm-hmm.
Expecting a heroic sacrifice moment, not unlike your buddy Stanley. And it keeps chasing the car. You
son of a bitch.
You sort of stop running for a second. And you're like, what do I do? What do I do? When you look up ahead and you see a Jasper also tucking and bailing out of the car.
Oh shit!
If you don't mind.
So I spun the wheel. You bailed out. I keep going. I realize that I'm being chased, and I decide to just bail out of the car.
I'm thinking what happens is you take one of the liquor bottles. You take the bottle of Jack Daniels, and you jam it under the dashboard onto the gas pedal, pinning it to the floor. Mm-hmm. The Toyota Camry screams in protest. This car is not meant to do this.
Right.
You grab your attaché case and you bail out of the car. You hit the road, you roll. The plants are surprisingly soft to land on, and you slide into a tree. It knocks the wind out of you, and you look and you watch this monster continue to chase the car. The car hits a tree, maybe a quarter mile up the road. The monster starts devouring the car, tearing it apart, and then slowly turns around and walks back towards you.
I'm not there anymore. I have gotten up and run back toward...
You're trying to breathe.
Oh, no.
You're still on the ground. You're trying to get your breath. You try to get up. Being knocked across the road did a lot more damage than you thought.
Yeah, I mean...
It walks past you. It turns back up the road and continues back towards town.
I just hold my breath and watch.
What the fuck was that? I'm so glad you're alive.
You two meet up at the
moment. Is there like an ANPC like station here, or office building, or outpost?
They own the local power plant.
Okay.
Where's the power plant in relationship to the town?
It is
north if we
northeast, yeah.
Okay, opposite direction from the pond and where we're going.
About, yeah. So I'm going to kind of wrap up here. Mm-hmm. The pair of you limp down to the nearest town. There is police officers as well as several other people who lived in the closer area, but not directly in town.
Yeah.
And they see the state you're in and give you blankets, give you food, give you water, hot coffee. Mm-hmm. You do research on the object that you have. This is you go through, you do a little espionage. You read up in your own company about what this was, and you find out exactly what this was. The dangerous spills that caused the troubles in Go Blue have a record of being attempted to be cleaned by ANPC. This was the latest attempt to clean up the dangerous spills. They developed a bacteria that could eat and absorb like toxic chemicals. This particular one, I would say, is a bit too strong.
Oh, it's like an aquarium sucker gone totally wrong.
And that is where we're going to end. Thanks for playing
Dread.
So to open behind my screen, if you wanted to get some cool facts of what I did, the monster was blind.
Okay.
I
gathered. I thought maybe it was really stupid, but it's actually just blind.
It's blind. It chased all the loud noises only.
Mm-hmm.
The plant people were people.
Just people.
So I blew someone's leg off. That's great. Love that.
But they were dead at this point. Essentially what this was it was trying to kill and gather every possible toxin in the town.
Right, including human beings.
Why
were we unaffected?
Good, because you hadn't drank enough of the water.
So it wasn't the water.
What about Stanley, though? Stanley was local and lived in town.
He only drinks Mountain Dew.
Yeah, he's
he's over the road trucker. Yeah. He's often not at home drinking from the local water supply. Yep. Oh my god.
That was my monster.
Very clever.
I hope you all had a good time.
Very clever.
I did have a good time. I felt bad that We kept knocking over the tower.
I'll say this again, Tim. I fucking hate you.
Thank you.
I think that was I loved your ideas around this. I would definitely watch it as a movie or as like an episode of a Monster of the Week show. Like your heroic dramatic sacrifice moment.
That fucking slaps.
The two of us like both making sacrifice plays and then like limping down the highway together. Like bleeding and
I was hoping to give you guys more one-on-one with the monster in a way that you were quiet enough to not have it notice you, but the only opportunity was briefly at the bar and you guys just fucking left. So didn't give you an opportunity
we
to see that it was
wait
blind.
for it to go past.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to get into the review then right away?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
Sweet.
let's do it while it's fresh.
All right, so we're going to start off with our review. So we're going around the table. Likes and dislikes. Do you want to start with Matt?
Tim, I fucking hate you. Likes about this game, it nails the theme. Jenga plus horror was not something I ever thought would go together. It works too damn well.
Yeah, peanut butter and jelly.
And I hate it.
Yep.
That is enough said.
It's it's tough to separate what did I like about the game versus what do I always love about your jamming, Tim.
Yeah.
I think separating it out from the custom story that you created for us and thinking more explicitly about the system, I love that tension between the Jenga tower and the rising dramatic tension of that horror scene. Every move feels like trying to defuse a bomb.
Yeah.
And it should. And I think that really resonates. And I think the possible outcomes are actually really tight. I mean, there's no more than maybe 5 or 6 things that could happen. You know, you succeed, you fail, a few different ways to die, but with some interesting ramifications.
There's only 4 ways. There's 4 outcomes.
Well, you could succeed, you could fail, you could die, you could also die.
If you knock over the tower on purpose, you die fantastically.
Yeah.
So
if you knock over the tower by trying to pull a brick, then you just die.
Yeah.
You can refuse to pull a brick and you fail the task.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's 4 specific
success,
outcomes.
fail, die.
Success, fail, die awesome.
Yeah. So 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's really tight and concise. Honestly, the only thing I don't like about the game is something I don't like about Jenga, which is that this is not an accessible game.
True.
You have to be a person with, hands that can engage the tower and find motor skills enough to engage the blocks and not shaky, not off balance. It's a game for able-bodied people.
Yep.
At some point, you need to be able to stand.
Yeah.
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 No,
And I don't think that's anything to do with Dread as a micro RPG. I think it's everything to do with Jenga.
Mechanics in Dread, for what it's worth, that lets you replace the Jenga tower with dice. So there is it's a rolling pool. I haven't ever read through the section well because I'm so obsessed with the Jenga tower.
Yeah.
It's a rolling pool that you're like slowly whittling down.
Okay.
Potential options, if I remember correctly.
In that case, I'd say if that's true, then we give Dread a pass on that front. But that's just a thing that's on my mind.
Yeah. Things I liked. I actually loved the questionnaire at the beginning.
Yes.
I felt like that put me right into who this person was and like what my relationship to the other people are. So love the character creation aspect of it. Echoing everything. I think the suspense is there, the tension is there. It's hard to say what I disliked about it because I think I agree with you, Max, about like the things I dislike about this game are things I dislike about Jenga. One of them is I'm really good at Jenga, so this game can go on a very long. And there were it's unfortunate that you guys can't see the tower, but at points it was like one block on one block on one block, split between 2 blocks. So,
Max, did I see that right? You took a picture earlier?
Yeah,
I
we
did.
should.
We're gonna post that to Discord.
We'll post some pictures.
So, I'm wondering if maybe I'll save that for the later part, but if you have people who are good at Jenga, this game can go on a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say if you have more people, it could go on a very long, because we played 3.5 hours, give or take. And with just the 3 of us, and only one of us died.
Yeah.
And we had to end it.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing. 2 hours. I forgot we broke.
Yep. We did a pause for food. We also did a pause for my darling cat screaming at us.
Well, and I kind of liked the extra tension of having a cat roaming around and being like,
No shit. I was visualizing her just jumping up on the table.
What happens to that? I think
every good game of Dread I've played has had my cats involved. So
okay, I have to get this rolling. Tim, what were your likes and dislikes about?
Oh,
if you were
I was done.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing about Jenga is sorry, not Jenga. My favorite thing about Dread is the Jenga tower in the center of the table being a constant reminder that you can die.
Yeah.
I think that is such a very powerful visual metaphor. There's no other game like this that has that's part of why miniatures are fun in games like D&D is you get to look at the table and go, oh yes, I'm in this fantasy world. In this game you go, oh yeah, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Every time I have to do anything, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
That's such a powerful tension builder that you just can't fucking top it. My biggest dislike is as a GM, creating scenarios is tricky. This is a tricky game to create a scenario, and luckily, it's got a sort of it's easier to it's easy to create tension in this game. It's no sweat at all. The game just does it. As far as writing a scenario, I've got 3 pages of notes. This game has 3 pre-made adventures, and I've tried running one of them before, and it was a struggle. So my biggest complaint about this game is, even though the book is all GM help, it is a tricky game to run without practice.
Yeah, I can imagine it's tough when, if you're GMing a maybe more traditional TTRPG, you can just create scenarios that avoid death, right? If you want the scenario to go a certain way, or for your heroes to survive until the next chapter or something like that, you just make that happen. With this, any one of us, including all 3 of us, could die at any time.
Yeah.
So how do you craft the narrative in a way that allows us to succeed without railroading us too much?
And the other thing is, how do you craft a narrative that lets your players die at any moment?
Yeah.
Because every time I ask you to pull a brick in whatever scenario is, I have to be running through my head of, if they fall now, how do I kill them?
Right.
Every single time you pull, I'm rolling through the Rolodex of how are they going to die this time?
They trip on their feet and throw the Molotov cocktail in their own face.
There's options for that kind of thing. But I was how do I get my monsters to kill them?
Yeah.
And because I want the monster death to be worth it.
Yeah.
So Matt, you gave me that in spades. I think that was a very
Your
cool death.
It
was very
really
excellent.
good.
That is part of why I knocked it over, but we'll get there.
But yeah, so that's my likes, dislikes. Is it's kind of tricky to run, and I fucking love this game. So the next question is open. What was this game trying to do? What would you change? For me, what this game's trying to do is obvious. It's tension builder. The game, this game runs tension. There's a list of different kinds of Dread games it suggests you can run in the book, and they're all sort of based on horror themes, but also just tense themes. You can run a deathless game if you run it to be a kind of what's that kind of movie where it's just really tense the whole time?
Thriller.
A thriller.
Thriller.
Yeah, you can run this as a thriller game.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea that I think I would actually, because this is a game I've never read the rules for. It was pitched to me as, hey, we're going to play a horror game and Jenga's the mechanic. And I went, I'm in. And then immediately after that, I went, I'm out. So this is the second time I've ever played it. I think I would actually like to read through the dice mechanics. I think I would really appreciate the dwindling dice pool as a tension builder.
Yeah, that's something I've definitely seen before. I'm looking through the book now, and I can't currently find it. That might be a fan-made thing. I'll post in our Discord what I find, if this is purely a Jenga game or not.
Yeah, the thing is with it...
Alternative to Tower. I'm a dumbass.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll have to read through that. I think I would actually prefer that as a tension builder.
Interesting.
I like the let's strategize about this. It feels like we have a chance. With Jenga, I am very jittery and shaky.
Yeah, me too.
So I know that if the tower falls, it's likely going to be me who knocks it over.
Yeah.
The one time that I have fantastically succeeded at Jenga was the first time I played Dread. And we got to the end. None of us had died, and we're freaking out. We're getting away from the monster. We're on the run.
It was a world record-setting fucking tower build. It was nuts.
And Tim looks at me and goes, okay, if you pull 2 bricks, you get away. If you pull, 4 or 5 total?
It was a lot. It was way more than necessary.
It was way more than necessary.
I was trying to kill y'all. I wanted him dead. I had such a cool monster.
Here's what you said. You said, okay, you pull 2 and you get away. Like, that will be the end of the game. If you can pull X many more than that, I'll give you an epilogue.
Okay.
Ooh.
And I was like, I gotta try it.
Have this.
Like, we worked together. I was like, I want to try this epilogue. And we got it. I was like, this is amazing. And the final frames of the epilogue were the monster flickering back into existence at my wedding. And I was just like,
real 1408 shit. Oh my god.
Like, I was...
I'll tell you all about it later.
This game is... With the Jenga tower specifically, it hits exactly what it was set out to do. I think I would prefer it with the dice rolls and the talk things through.
Yeah.
The Jenga tower itself, the only reason I like it as a mechanic is due to this is my time. I know that this is one of 2 games that I know that have that. There's Dread and what was it, Fate or something?
Are you talking about the Apocalypse? Oh, that is the Ragnarok setting of End of the World.
That one where you say, this is my word, this is my moment. Your character has max stats. They auto succeed in auto crit on everything, and they die at the end of that scene.
Yeah,
that moment is really powerful when you can harness it correctly as a character.
Yeah,
being able to pull the Quint something was the name of the character in Jaws, and being able to pull that moment here was what I was looking for.
That's cool.
Like it was the right feel. It was the right moment. It's like, I know we're only about 40 minutes into the horror movie at this point. Like, if that, because you got to have that build up on screen. So were this a movie, we would have had the build up of, we meet each other, we have that friction, we're in town, we meet a couple of people, and then everything starts to go haywire.
Yeah.
So the moment where it's like, we got this, that sacrifice is the thing where that's what sets the audience on it.
Oh shit, we've got stakes now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. This is real, and people can die.
Yep.
At any time.
And then we got the what you would change section. I've only got one. Anyone got a thing they would want to change about this?
I do, sort of.
Sure.
So, obviously, I love everything that Dread is trying to do, right? It's horror movie, the game. And I think the Jenga Tower works beautifully for that. I think the threat of death being imminent is really good and powerful, and that death being real. I don't like that it knocks out a player
That's
completely
exactly what I was going
that
to say.
fast. And I don't mean to minimize like your deliberate action to make that occur, because I do think that was really cool and powerful. But I'm thinking about at any other table with another group, another time, that could have happened totally by accident, right? Like somebody might be trying to do something, and especially if the choice that they initially are reaching for might be relatively minor, and it may not initially appear that it could be a killable failure.
Yeah.
Like, to then die and then actually fully be out of the game seems like a lot. But that's often, in the game's defense, that's often my critique with micro RPGs, because I think it does lend itself to that.
Yeah, there's a lot of games where like you get knocked out of the game and then you still have to sit and watch your friends play a game without you, and that's not really fun.
Yeah.
So I totally
That's something
agree with
I would change. But that's just, I mean, again, that might be personal preference.
Yeah.
I honestly enjoyed being able to be a commentator.
You,
I think
you do, and like I think you did in this game, but I don't know that everyone would.
Yeah, I honestly think I think this is one where we're coming down exactly on opposite sides of the coin on this.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I have something that I don't necessarily know that I would change so much as like, I guess this would be like Manny's house rule for playing Dread, or if like I were GMing this, is I would kind of make a GM-less game, and similar to the way we did with 2012, is just like, okay, I'm going to set up a problem for you, Max, to solve, and that has the potential to kill you. Pull a brick and see if you survive, and then you do it to Matt, or you could switch it off or something like that.
That's how I do travel stuff in D&D. Is
Yeah.
like I encourage the party to like come up with the challenge that the next person has to solve, and I think that would be fun for this.
So I think that's how I would run it. One of the things I like about this game, and again, this is maybe how I would run it at my table, but I'm having this idea of like, how do you maintain that tension when death isn't the imminent threat? And so I would like to try to play a game of Dread where like you don't die, but something else. My idea was like, it's Thanksgiving dinner, and you all have a secret.
Roll you
Ooh, yeah.
into the wonderful world of Starcrossed.
Oh, yes, exactly.
It is a 2-player game where your characters are secretly in love with each other but can't admit it.
Yeah.
And whoever knocks over the tower makes the first move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was also thinking about like a James Bond style casino scene. Where, like, if you imagine the whole table is sitting around and you're all, like, secret agents and you're playing poker. And then the Jenga tower is, like, your hands. And, like, the plays that you're making in the game. And, like, you're trying to, like, get an intrigue on other people while also, like, not getting, bedded out of the game.
You knock over the tower and you reveal your secret.
Yeah, or you accidentally show
that's
your
what I'm
hand
saying.
to your other players or whatever, Or you get kicked out of the casino for cheating,
Well, the thing is, part of what makes build the Jenga tower up and then keep going, like, I really fudged up that start. The part of what keeps the Jenga tower and the permanent threat of death, like the permanent, what's the word, repercussion, viable, is the fact that a player can choose to knock it over for an almost reward.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. I feel like I almost don't have the option to say what I would change about this game or like even get into the argument because I hate the game so much.
But that's a person. To be clear for our listeners, this is a personal preference Matt is commenting on, not that the game is worthy of being hated.
Here's a question, Matt. Would you run this?
No.
Really? Okay. Because you've done other horror things with me at the table.
Yeah.
And you were great at it. And this is just like, it's just an easy horror game.
It's an easy horror game. I don't tell easy horror stories.
Okay.
If I'm telling an actual like horror story, I need the long campaign setup for it. That's why I'm a huge fan of the Chronicles of Darkness world building setup. It's
I thought you were going to say the Chronicles of Narnia, and I was like, you misunderstood that series, man.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Mr. Tonus is kind of threatening.
Hey, Mr. Thomas could get it, yo.
But like, so
The things that happened to Eustace, though, dude, those books were nuts.
Sure. You're not wrong.
So yeah, like to kind of help me understand what you're saying, like the fact that this is kind of in a easily downable like shot glass of a game is that what's throwing you off? Like it's too contained?
When I tell horror stories, I tell long-reaching horror stories. I'm good at setting up tension and suspense for a single session. Like in 3 hours, I can start to build things. It's what happened with Breaking Rank. I can start setting this up and we can get going, and I can set the tactical environment. I can set the other things. I can set up comedy. I can't set up horror. I cannot, something in my own brain, I can't bring that to the fore in a single session.
Interesting.
And I think it's the same reason, like when I watch horror movies, putting that in very major air quotes.
Yeah.
I will watch like up to the mid 80s, maybe early 90s, for what folks know as horror these days. The gorier the movie, if it's cartoonishly gory, then I've got next to no problem with it. We were talking about Repo. But with the advent of Saw, the Hostel series, and that entire sequence from the mid 2000s, I cannot handle those movies.
This is a bit of a tangent, but I think it's valid both in what you're talking about and this specific game. Horror as a genre relies on tension, but an important part of building tension is releasing tension. That's why in Friday the 13th you have so many deaths. So like you see Jason stalking the camp counselors, you see them killed. That's your build of tension, release of tension, and you go back to the normal, and then rinse and repeat ad nauseum. So I say that to say, going back to movies like you said, Saw, Hostel, all those torture pornies, more modern, like gory horror movies, they don't release the tension. They just keep building it and building it and building it and building it. And you've been watching this movie sitting on needles for 90 minutes without a significant release of tension until the credits roll, which is not a satisfying release of tension. So it doesn't allow your body to regulate itself. And I think that's actually what this game does as well, because there's no release of the tension until there's a big, scary, loud noise. And so it doesn't let you regulate until someone's dead and we're now starting over again.
Well, I mean, that's the exact same thing that you said about slasher flicks, though. So you're saying that the tension release happens often in a slasher film.
Yeah.
Whenever someone dies. Well, the tension gets released in this game whenever someone dies.
Well, yes, but that's what I'm saying is like, sorry, let me go back.
Let me go back. Happen enough.
What you're saying is you need worse Jenga players.
Exactly. And that is, I think, like, so my big complaint about the game, and like, I think, it is that the possibility of it going on too long.
Yes.
And like, you don't get that release of tension because like, we didn't die.
Yeah.
We were like, there was like a couple times where it was like, this tower has to fall. This tower has to fall. And no one wants to, in Jenga, no one wants to succeed is the thing. Like, no one wants like another block to be placed on top. Everyone is like, this tower has to fall so we can all go home. And it doesn't happen, and it keeps not happening, and it keeps not happening. And so that's I think it makes sense that you have issues with this style of play, Matt, because
that
like
resonates totally.
Because like your bodily equilibrium is off kilter, and it doesn't get a sense to regulate before you're getting another shot of adrenaline.
So what we're saying is, I think the change: take more bricks out first.
There you go.
Make the tower smaller to start with. Encourage more
let
Collapse
people
of
let people die sooner. Matt's shaking his head.
That literally just sets me off at the very beginning. I'm skipping straight to table or shelve.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah, we
ask,
got to get there.
I shelve it. I shelve it.
Table it, 100%.
I'll table it with some caveats. I would like to run this game because I might be too good of a Jenga player to play
I'd love
this
to run
game.
it. I'd love to run it too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love running this game more than almost any other role playing game. I've never played it, not intentionally. I just can't get a crew. But yeah, this is a hardcore table to me. Matt, I want to thank you on a personal level for being willing to play this game again.
Yes,
I
thank
know
you,
Yes,
Matt.
especially knowing you didn't like it.
You told
I
me
didn't
that
realize
you
how
weren't-
much you didn't like it.
You told me you weren't going to play it again, and we were talking about doing Halloween games, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to run Dread," and Matt was like, "Run it," and I was like, "All right."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
I
glad
remember
did.
being at that. Yeah.
It's
I
worth it
do
for the
remember that.
story.
I think y'all told a great story.
Yeah.
I
Good
will
job.
say I did not knock over the tower because I don't like the game. I knocked over the tower because it was the right move in the moment.
It was.
It
yeah.
was.
it
It was
fucking-
very cool.
Um,
It was very good.
All right. Well, I think we need to do our end credit stuff. Any particular plugs?
join our Discord.
Yeah,
do
join
a
the
Discord
Discord.
now,
yeah.
Follow
Join the
us
Discord.
on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook group, YouTube, and our Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy spooky season,
Happy spooky
y'all.
season.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. Our theme this episode is Chill Vibrant Jazz theme by Danny Dory, and we'll see you next time.
Nice.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.